Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and in this video I would like to talk about the state of the competitive Dragon Ball FighterZ meta. Now, you probably got a decent idea where this is going to be going, because hey, if you've been following along with Dragon Ball FighterZ at all in the last, few months, or even a little bit longer than that, a lot of what Dragon Ball FighterZ is, a lot of Bardock and a lot of Kid Goku. And in this video, I'll be going over some of the numbers and some of the more recent big tournaments, and it's not really going to change your mind on the Bardock Kid Goku situation, because, hey, it is what it is. But to be fun, I also have tournament results from this time last year, just to compare against where we are currently, where we used to be a year ago. So the two most recent majors I'll be talking about are East Coast Throwdown, which just wrapped up very recently as of this weekend, and I'll talk about Southeast Asia Major 2019, which also happened very recently, and I'll be going over the numbers for top 16 for both of them. So without any further ado, I guess let's just get right to it, and let's start with Southeast Asia Majors 2019. So what you are seeing scrolling across the screen right now is the amount of times each character has made an appearance in the top 16 of Dragon Ball FighterZ at SEAM 2019. So as you can see here, the usual suspects have made the most appearances, to say the least, right? So in that top 16 situation, we have 9 Kid Boos, 8 Bardocks, and 7 Kid Gokus. Kid Buu, a character famously been nerfed almost in every major balance patch there ever has been, and yet here you are, he's top of the mountain, right? We got quite a bit of Super Saiyan Goku representation, Yamcha, Super Saiyan Vegeta, obviously not as much as the people above them though, and then it kind of just evens out from there. A lot of 2-ofs or a 1-of, right? A lot of players like pet characters or whatever, but as you can see, it's very clear, there's no arguing, Kid Buu, Bardock, Kid Goku GT, these are the superstars, for better or for worse, right? These are the guys that basically define the competitive meta as it currently stands, and this tournament shows if you want to win, if you want to show up to the big show and win, hey, these are the kind of guys you had to pick. Now let's move forward here, and let's see what the top 16 layout was at East Coast Throwdown. So for East Coast Throwdown 2019, you're going to see a lot of similar stuff here, but with one key difference here. So coming in at first place, if we want to call it that, we have Kid Goku, Super Saiyan Goku, that's our bit of a surprise, and then the usual Bardocks and Kid Boos in top 16. So Super Saiyan Goku definitely made a much bigger impact here. Now, the character's always been a very effective anchor. No matter what team you have, you can basically just slap him at the end and it'll work. His assist is great. He's a really solid anchor character. He can do a lot by himself, so I guess it might be a little bit of a North America versus Asia divide, as this is the North American major versus Southeast Asia majors, obviously an Asian major. But yeah, other than that, we got a lot of 1-ofs, as you can see here. It's filling up the screen. But we had our core picks, our favorites. The ones that, if you want to put it this way, are the ones you want to pick if you want to get serious about the tournament. And then just a lot of 1-ofs for everybody else. I use these two tournaments as a reference point because, hey, they are the two most recent big tournaments, and thus I think best reflect where the meta is currently. But if we want to go back earlier in the year and all that kind of stuff, for pretty much all of Season 2, especially since Kid Goku's launch, the answer for most tournaments is a lot of Bardock, a lot of Kid Goku, a good amount of Kid Boos, and usually a decent amount of Super Saiyan Gokus, right? That's generally what this game, and I don't want to say this in a mean way, but this is generally what this game has devolved into competitively. These are the characters you want to pick in a high-stakes situation for the most part. It's not to say other characters can't win. Obviously, that's not the case. That's true. But the community has spoken. If you want to win, generally speaking, hey, it definitely helps you to pick these characters. And now for fun, let's go over the old numbers. So I also have the top 16 character usage numbers for Southeast Asia Majors and East Coast Throwdown from 2018. So let's look over it. So starting with SEAM 2018, hey, let's look at our top 16. And number 1 is Android 16. Who's that guy? Do you remember that character? You don't really see him that much anymore, but hey, he used to be a pretty big deal. And of course Bardock is eternal, that's how it is. And just from there, we start getting a little bit more of an even spread. It's not quite as lopsided as 2019 is. Not to say it's still not lopsided a bit, because it is, but still. We got Gotenks, Tien, Kid Buu being pretty popular, and then just a nice hodgepodge with the rest of the cast. So yeah, 16 used to be a big deal, and then he wasn't, right? because we had stuff called bounce patches back in 2018, which we are not getting in 2019. But it is what it is, I guess. Also, a character like Kid Buu, not as popular. And you got to keep in mind, with bounce patches and stuff, Kid Buu was a stronger character back then. But I guess you could say he wasn't as explored. Because he definitely could do more stuff back then than he can do now. And he's more popular now than he was back then. But that's just benefit of hindsight and benefit of time, I suppose. Now, moving on to the East Coast Throwdown 2018 numbers, let's see how that shakes out. So, coming in number 1, hey, it's a tie. Once again, Android 16 and Bardock are tied for number 1 here. So, once again, Bardock is eternal. It doesn't matter if it's last year, it doesn't matter if this year, it doesn't matter if it's next year. Bardock's still going to be the guy, right? But 16 definitely was, well, I wouldn't say in his prime because it was still his nerf version, but he was definitely a lot more popular back then. And hey, Super Saiyan Vegeta. Super Saiyan Vegeta is a character that is basically just as strong now as he was then, but it goes to show characters like Kid Goku are so strong that Super Saiyan Vegeta has kind of mostly fallen off the map through no fault of his own, because there's definitely a greater power gap between a lot of the characters. And from there onwards, nice little hodgepodge. One Kid Buu, that's pretty crazy, right? You never don't see that no more. But overall, a little more stacked than it was at the SEAM 2018 major, but still a good little spread, other than obviously everyone wanted to play 16 and Bardock because they want to win because they're the best characters at the time. So now, looking at the past and now looking at how it is in the present, is there any chance things are going to shake up until Season 3? Honestly, no, not really. There's not really a chance. While there's still new tech being discovered all the time for Dragon Ball FighterZ, it's just very obvious, you know, characters that are like a blunt hammer, like a Bardock, like a GT Goku, they don't need anything special. They just work. They don't need edge case tech. They are effective up front, and that's really what you need. You need reliability and power, and these are what these two characters offer you, right? Besides that, you know, there's a lot of, you know, pet choices. A lot of people like a certain character, like, oh, this person might be an Android 18 player, or this person really likes Cooler, something like that, right? But those are more edge cases, and the reality of the situation is, most of the time, in a serious setting, Bardock and Kid Goku, then now forever, and people that are reliable stalwarts, like your Kid Buus and your Super Saiyan Gokus, are going to be pulling up the rear for a lot of stuff, right? I do believe, come 2020, we will get the Season 3 patch, and hopefully Arxis and Bandai Namco listen to the community as a whole wants, and we can change up certain aspects of the game, and just, you know, a lot of characters don't need much to be good, and you don't even necessarily have to nerf Bardock or Kid Goku or Kid Buu, but hey, might as well, right? History has proven they're nerf resistant, especially Bardock and Kid Buu. You can nerf them as many times as you want, and they're still just that good, right? But hopefully Season 3 will give us some nice tweaks working to our favor as a community. But as it stands right now, this is basically where the meta is at, and it is defined by a very small core of characters. Now, it isn't to say you can't pick someone else and not do well. Like, that's why the background footage you're watching right now is the reason I chose it, right? As this is the grand finals of Southeast Asia Majors 2019, and hey, you see Fenrich and he's picking Cell, right? Cell is a character that has fallen from grace almost harder than anyone else in this game, right? The very beginnings of this game, as it started, was defined by Cell for the most part, right? And then he just totally fell off. And is Cell a bad character right now? Absolutely not, right? He has all the tools in the world. He does good damage. He has good setups, very good neutral, good assists, all that kind of fun stuff, right? He does suffer from where the game's meta is going, you know, gameplay-wise, not so much character-wise. You know, he's a tall character. He gets fuzzied, right? But you know what? Spoiler, Fenrich got the job done. He managed to win with Cell. But then again, he also did manage to win with Kid Goku GT, right? So he did pick a character to help amplify the power. It's not like he's some sort of weird low-tier hero now, right? He's definitely using Kid Goku, but the lesson is here, you can definitely pick lesser-played characters, at least now lesser-played, because he is using Cell and Super Saiyan Vegeta, which you go back a year, and these are two of the most used characters, especially towards the beginning of the game. But yeah, the long story short is, you don't necessarily always have to pick Bardock, Kid Goku GT, Kid Buu, that kind of stuff, right? You can pick other characters, but I guess the real thing is, you just have to work a bit harder, right? You have to be just that good, like a Fenrich. You have to be that good, otherwise you are playing an uphill battle, which is pretty unfortunate, but it is where we're at right now. That all said, I do have high hopes for the future. I do believe Season 3 patch will probably be on the very early part. I'm talking like January, February 2020, and Arxis and Bandai Namco has had a year's worth of data to work around with, so hopefully a lot of good changes, system mechanic-wise, character balance-wise, and more will be coming our way fairly soon. So once again, it's not all doom and gloom. We've had problems before. We complained about Cell, we complained about 16, we never stopped complaining about Bardock. It's just how it is, right? But still, very much looking forward to what Season 3 will bring us, and of course, all the new fun adventures and challenges we'll have in 2020 for Dragon Ball FighterZ. But yeah, I guess we're drawn to the end of the video, friends. So, hey, if you don't like Bardock and Kid Goku GT, well, in my opinion, hopefully we don't gotta suffer too much longer on that front. We got Dragon Ball Super Broly to look forward to. That's going to be really cool. Gogeta came out not too long ago. A lot of people love Gogeta, right? Now, are they going to be changing the competitive meta? Well, probably not. They won't be as good as, you know, Bardock and Kid Goku, and they're tall and they get fuzzy and all that usual stuff we complain about, right? But still, I think good times are coming, and if you thought this was perhaps a dark age or something, well, it won't be that much longer yet. And if you thought it was just fine, then hey, excellent, works out just great. Anyways, my friends, that's it for this video, so thank you very much for watching. Hope this video found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.